Hey guys. OMG, I literally got graduated.
Wow.
Congrats.
Way to go.
That's right. He got graduated from high school. Kevin G. Knepper, what are you named after?
I was named after Kevin Maurice Garnett.
Goes Kevin Maurice Garnett?
Kevin Morris Garnett, born May 19, 1976, is an American former professional basketball player who played for 21 seasons in the National Basketball Association, NBA. Known for his intensity, defensive ability, and versatility, Garnett is considered one of the greatest power forwards of all time. He is one of 4 NBA players to win both the Most Valuable Player and the Defensive Player of the Year awards. In high school, Garnett was a 1995 McDonald's All-American at Farragut Career Academy, and won a National Player of the Year award. He entered the 1995 NBA Draft, where he was selected with the 5th overall pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and became the first NBA player drafted directly out of high school in 20 years. Garnett made an immediate impact with the Minnesota Timberwolves, leading them to 8 consecutive playoff appearances. In 2004, he led the Timberwolves to the Western Conference Finals, and won the NBA MVP award. Garnett has been named to 15 All-Star games, winning the All-Star MVP award in 2003, and is currently tied for 3rd most All-Star selections in NBA history. He was named the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2007-08, and has been selected 9 times for all NBA teams and 12 times for all defensive teams. Garnett also holds several Timberwolves franchise records. In 2007, after 12 seasons with the Timberwolves, Garnett joined the Boston Celtics in a blockbuster trade. In his first year with the Celtics, he helped lead them to the NBA championship, while also finishing in 3rd place for the MVP award. In 2013, Garnett was included in a second headline trade that sent him to the Brooklyn Nets with longtime Celtic Paul Pierce. In 2015, Garnett was traded back to Minnesota. He announced his retirement from professional basketball in September 2016.
His height was listed 6 feet 11 in, 2.11 m, and his weight was listed 240 pounds, 109 kilograms.
Okay. Vasily, what do you name after?
I was going to name after Vasily Koko, but I'm not a sports team member, so instead, I was named after Vasily Bogdanowicz.
Huh? I don't understand. Who's Vasily Bogdanowicz?
Vasily Bogdanowicz was a Polish violinist and composer. He was born in 1740 in Lesser Poland, and he died on February 23, 1817 in Vienna, Austria.
Excuse me, Vasily Koopa. I was wondering, do you like me?
Yeah. I sure do like you, but sadly, I can't play with you. I have lost an arm.
What?
And Justin T. Koopa, what do you name after?
I was going to name after Justin Bieber, although many people said that, but my middle name does not start with a B, so I was named after Justin Timberlake.
Who's Justin Timberlake?
Justin Randall Timberlake, often known by his initials, JT, is an American singer, songwriter, actor, dancer and record producer. He was born on January 31, 1981 in Tennessee.
Wait a second. Do you have an allergic to ladybugs?
Yeah. I am allergic to ladybugs.
Oh, no wonder. Tim J. Knepper, what are you named after?
My name is after either Tim McGraw, Tim Storms, or Tim Faust, but my middle name does not start with G, S, or F, so instead, my name is after Tim Joel Smith.
Who's Tim Joel Smith?
Timothy Joel Smith was born on December 3, 1985 in Shreveport, Louisiana, USA. He is known for his work on Black Panther, 2018, Oblivion, 2013, and Cloak and Dagger, 2018.
This has got to be confusing. Theodore Yago Koopa, what do you name after?
Theo James.
Who's Theo James?
Theo James is an actor and musician. He was most active from 2010 to present. Theo was given the name Theodore Peter James Kinnard Tapticless on December 16, 1984 in Oxford. He is also an English director, producer and model, known for portraying the role of Tobias for Eaton in the Divergent series film trilogy.
And Ross Koopa, What do you name after?
Ross Lynch.
Wait. Who's Ross Lynch?
Ross Lynch is an actor, singer, songwriter, and musician. His ongoing career started in 2009. Ross was born on December 29, 1995 in Littleton, Colorado, United States.
This is going to get a little more interesting. Aiden Koopa, what do you name after?
Aidan Baker.
Who's Aiden Baker?
Aidan Baker is a musician from Toronto, Ontario, Canada who has released numerous records both as a solo artist and as part of various side projects, including Nadja, ARC, Caudal and Namazani. He has also written several books of poetry. He was born in 1974 in Toronto, Canada.
Ouch. And how about you, Nolan Cody Koopa?
Kelly Nolan Cody.
Who's Kelly Nolan Cody?
Kelly was born in Norwalk, Connecticut on March 4, 1965, the daughter of Richard and Jill Brown Nolan. Kelly and Cody, 54, passed away at her home in LaBelle, FL on April 10, 2019.
Oh no. She got buried in St. Albans, Franklin County, Vermont, USA. And Chris, how about you?
Chris Christopherson.
Who's Chris Christopherson?
Chris Christopherson is a singer, songwriter, musician, actor, and songwriter, film. He was most active from 1966 to present. Chris was given the name as Christopher Christopherson on June 22, 1936 in Brownsville, Texas, U.S.
And Iva?
Ava Apajode.
Who's Iva Apajode?
Ava Apajode, born February 18, 1977, is a Latvian lugger who competed from 1998 to 2006. She finished 18th in the women's singles event at the 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin. Apajode's best finish at the FIL World Luge Championships was 17th at Nagano in 2004. Her son, Christos Apajode, and her daughter, Kendija Apajode, also are luggers.
Okay. And how about you, Austin Con Koopa?
Austin Butler.
I don't understand. Who's Austin Butler?
Austin Robert Butler, born the 17th of August, 1991, is an American actor and singer.
Okay. And how about you? What do you name after Thomas E. Koopa?
I was named after Thomas Edison.
I know that he invented the light bulb in 1896, but who's Thomas Edison?
Thomas Alva Edison was
an American inventor and businessman who has been described as America's greatest inventor. He developed many devices in fields such as electric power generation, mass communication, sound recording, and motion pictures. These inventions have had a widespread impact on the modern industrialized world. He was one of the first inventors to apply the principles of organized science and teamwork to the process of invention, working with many researchers and employees. He established the first industrial research laboratory. Thomas Edison was born in 1847 in Millen, Ohio, and grew up in Port Huron, Michigan. He was the seventh and last child of Samuel Ogden Edison Jr. 1804 to 1896, born in Marshalltown, Nova Scotia, and Nancy Matthews Elliott, 1810 to 1871, born in Chenango County, New York. His father, the son of a Loyalist refugee, had moved as a boy with the family from Nova Scotia, settling in southwestern Ontario, then called Upper Canada, in a village known as Shrewsbury, later Vienna, by 1811. Samuel Jr. eventually fled Ontario, because he took part in the unsuccessful Mackenzie Rebellion of 1837. His father, Samuel Sr., had earlier fought in the War of 1812 as captain of the 1st Middlesex Regiment. By contrast, Samuel Jr.'s struggle found him on the losing side, and he crossed into the United States at Sarnia, Port Huron. Once across the border, he found his way to Millen, Ohio. His patrilineal family line was Dutch by way of New Jersey. The surname had originally been Edson. Edison attended school for only a few months, and was instead taught by his mother. Much of his education came from reading R.G. Parker's School of Natural Philosophy and the Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art. Edison developed hearing problems at an early age. The cause of his deafness has been attributed to a bout of scarlet fever during childhood, and recurring untreated middle ear infections. Around halfway through his career, Edison attributed the hearing impairment to being struck on the ears by a train conductor when his chemical laboratory in a boxcar caught fire, and he was thrown off the train in Smiths Creek, Michigan, along with his apparatus and chemicals. In his later years, he modified the story to say the injury occurred when the conductor, in helping him onto a moving train, lifted him by the ears. Edison's family moved to Port Huron, Michigan after the canal owners successfully kept the railroad out of Millen, Ohio in 1854 and business declined. In 1866, at the age of 19, Edison moved to Louisville, Kentucky, where, as an employee of Western Union, he worked the Associated Press Bureau Newswire. Edison requested the night shift, which allowed him plenty of time to spend at his two favorite pastimes, reading and experimenting. Eventually, the latter preoccupation cost him his job. One night in 1867, he was working with a lead-acid battery when he spilled sulfuric acid onto the floor. It ran between the floorboards and onto his boss's desk below. The next morning, Edison was fired. His first patent was for the electric vote recorder, US Patent 90646, which was granted on June 1, 1869. Finding little demand for the machine, Edison moved to New York City shortly thereafter. One of his mentors during those early years was a fellow telegrapher and inventor named Franklin Leonard Pope, who allowed the impoverished youth to live and work in the basement of his Elizabeth, New Jersey, home, while Edison worked for Samuel Laws at the Gold Indicator Company. Pope and Edison founded their own company in October 1869, working as electrical engineers and inventors. Edison began developing a multiplex telegraphic system, which could send two messages simultaneously, in 1874. Edison was raised in the American Midwest. Early in his career he worked as a telegraph operator, which inspired some of his earliest inventions. In 1876, he established his first laboratory facility in Menlo Park, New Jersey, where many of his early inventions were developed. He later established a botanic laboratory in Fort Myers, Florida in collaboration with businessmen Henry Ford and Harvey Firestone, and a laboratory in West Orange, New Jersey, that featured the world's first film studio, the Black Maria. He was a prolific inventor, holding 1,093 US patents in his name, as well as patents in other countries. Edison married twice, and fathered 6 children. After devising a commercially viable electric light bulb on October 21, 1879, Edison developed an electric utility to compete with the existing gas light utilities. On December 17, 1880, he founded the Edison Illuminating Company, and during the 1880s, he patented a system for electricity distribution. The company established the first investor-owned electric utility in 1882 on Pearl Street Station, New York City. On September 4, 1882, Edison switched on his Pearl Street generating station's electrical power distribution system, which provided 110 volts direct current, DC, to 59 customers in Lower Manhattan. In January 1882, Edison switched on the first steam generating power station at Holborn Viaduct in London. The DC supply system provided electricity supplies to street lamps and several private dwellings within a short distance of the station. On January 19, 1883, the first standardized incandescent electric lighting system employing overhead wires began service in Roselle, New Jersey. This accomplishment was so unexpected by the public at large as to appear almost magical. Edison became known as the Wizard of Menlo Park, New Jersey. In 1876, Edison began work to improve the microphone for telephones, at that time called a transmitter, by developing a carbon microphone, which consists of two metal plates separated by granules of carbon that would change resistance with the pressure of sound waves. A steady direct current is passed between the plates through the granules, and the varying resistance results in a modulation of the current, creating a varying electric current that reproduces the varying pressure of the sound wave. Edison used the carbon microphone concept in 1877 to create an improved telephone for Western Union. In 1886, Edison found a way to improve a Bell telephone microphone, one that used loose contact ground carbon, with his discovery that it worked far better if the carbon was roasted. This type was put in use in 1890 and was used in all telephones along with the Bell receiver until the 1980s. In 1878, Edison began working on a system of electrical illumination, something he hoped could compete with gas and oil-based lighting. He began by tackling the problem of creating a long-lasting incandescent lamp, something that would be needed for indoor use. Many earlier inventors had previously devised incandescent lamps, including Alessandro Volta's demonstration of a glowing wire in 1800 and inventions by Henry Woodward and Matthew Evans. Others who developed early and commercially impractical incandescent electric lamps included Humphrey Davy, James Bowman Lindsay, Moses G. Farmer, William E. Sawyer, Joseph Swan, and Heinrich Goebel. The first successful test was on October 22, 1879, and it lasted 13.5 hours. The key to Edison's fortunes was telegraphy. With knowledge gained from years of working as a telegraph operator, he learned the basics of electricity. This allowed him to make his early fortune with the stock ticker, the first electricity-based broadcast system. On August 9, 1892, Edison received a patent for a two-way telegraph. Edison was also granted a patent for the motion picture camera or kinetograph. He did the electromechanical design, while his employee W.K.L. Dixon, a photographer, worked on the photographic and optical development. Much of the credit for the invention belongs to Dixon. In 1891, Thomas Edison built a kinetoscope or peephole viewer. This device was installed in penny arcades, where people could watch short simple films. The kinetograph and kinetoscope were both first publicly exhibited May 20, 1891. His first phonograph recorded on tinfoil around a groove cylinder. Despite its limited sound quality, and that the recordings could be played only a few times, the phonograph made Edison a celebrity. Joseph Henry, president of the National Academy of Sciences, and one of the most renowned electrical scientists in the US, described Edison as the most ingenious inventor in this country, or in any other. In April 1878, Edison traveled to Washington to demonstrate the phonograph before the National Academy of Sciences, congressmen, senators, and US President Hayes. The Washington Post described Edison as a genius and his presentation as a scene that will live in history. Edison invented a highly sensitive device that he named the tessimeter, which measured infrared radiation. His impetus for its creation was the desire to measure the heat from the solar corona during the total solar eclipse of July 29, 1878. Although Edison obtained a patent for the phonograph in 1878, he did little to develop it until Alexander Graham Bell, Chichester Bell, and Charles Tainter produced a phonograph-like device in the 1880s that used wax-coated cardboard cylinders. Edison is credited with designing and producing the first commercially available fluoroscope, a machine that uses X-rays to take radiographs. Until Edison discovered that calcium tungstate fluoroscopy screens produced brighter images than the barium platina cyanide screens originally used by Wilhelm Röntgen, the technology was capable of producing only very faint images. The first kinetoscopes arrived in Belgium at the fairs in early 1895. The Edison's Kinetoscope Français, a Belgian company, was founded in Brussels on January 15, 1895, with the rights to sell the kinetoscopes in Monaco, France and the French colonies. The main investors in this company were Belgian industrialists. On May 14, 1895, the Edison's kinetoscope Belge was founded in Brussels. In 1898, he also became a shareholder of the Biographen Mutoscope Company for France. The fundamental design of Edison's fluoroscope is still in use today, although Edison abandoned the project after nearly losing his own eyesight and seriously injuring his assistant, Clarence Daly. Daly made himself an enthusiastic human guinea pig for the fluoroscopy project, and was exposed to a poisonous dose of radiation. In 1903, a shaken Edison said, "Don't talk to me about X-rays, I'm afraid of them." The Edison Storage Battery Company was founded in 1901. With this company, Edison exploited his invention of the accumulator. In 1904, 450 people already worked for the company. The first accumulators were produced for electric cars, but there were several defects. Several customers complained about the products. When the capital of the company was spent, Edison paid for the company with his private money. Edison did not demonstrate a mature product until 1910, a nickel-iron battery with lousy electrolyte. At the start of World War I, the American chemical industry was primitive. Most chemicals were imported from Europe. The outbreak of war in August 1914 resulted in an immediate shortage of imported chemicals. One of particular importance to Edison was phenol, which was used to make phonograph records, presumably as phenolic resins of the Bakelite type. In 1928, Edison joined the Fort Myers Civitan Club. He believed strongly in the organization, writing that the Civitan Club is doing big things for the community, state, and nation, and I certainly consider it an honor to be numbered in its ranks. In 1930, the year before Edison died, Minna said in an interview about him, "Correct eating is one of his greatest hobbies." She also said that during one of his periodic great scientific adventures, Edison would be up at 7 o'clock, have breakfast at 8 o'clock, and be rarely home for lunch or dinner, implying that he continued to have all three. Edison died of complications of diabetes on October 18, 1931, in his home, Glenmont in Llewellyn Park in West Orange, New Jersey, which he had purchased in 1886 as a wedding gift for Minna. Reverend Stephen J. Herban officiated at the funeral. Edison is buried behind the home. Edison's last breath is reportedly contained in a test tube at the Henry Ford Museum near Detroit. Ford reportedly convinced Charles Edison to seal a test tube of air in the inventor's room shortly after his death, as a memento. A plaster death mask and casts of Edison's hands were also made. The President of the Third French Republic, Jules Grévy, on the recommendation of his Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jules Barthélemy Saint-Hilaire, and with the presentations of the Minister of Posts and Telegraphs, Louis Cotterie, designated Edison with the distinction of an Officer of the Legion of Honor, Légion d'honneur, by decree on November 10, 1881. Edison was also named a Chevalier in the Legion in 1879, and a Commander in 1889. In 1887, Edison won the Matuksi Medal. In 1890, he was elected a member of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. The Philadelphia City Council named Edison the recipient of the John Scott Medal in 1889. In 1899, Edison was awarded the Edward Longstreth Medal of the Franklin Institute. He was named an honorable consulting engineer at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition World's Fair in 1904. In 1908, Edison received the American Association of Engineering Society's John Fritz Medal. In 1915, Edison was awarded Franklin Medal of the Franklin Institute for discoveries contributing to the foundation of industries and the well-being of the human race. In 1920, the United States Navy Department awarded him the Navy Distinguished Service Medal. In 1923, the American Institute of Electrical Engineers created the Edison Medal, and he was its first recipient. In 1927, he was granted membership in the National Academy of Sciences. On May 29, 1928, Edison received the Congressional Gold Medal. In 1983, the United States Congress, pursuant to Senate Joint Resolution 140, Public Law 97-198, designated February 11 Edison's birthday as National Inventors Day. Life magazine, USA, in a special double issue in 1997, placed Edison first in the list of the 100 most important people in the last 1,000 years, noting that the light bulb he promoted lit up the world. In the 2005 television series The Greatest American, he was voted by viewers as the 15th greatest. In 2008, Edison was inducted in the New Jersey Hall of Fame. In 2010, Edison was honored with a Technical Grammy Award. In 2011, Edison was inducted into the Entrepreneur Walk of Fame and named a Great Floridian by the Florida Governor and Cabinet.
I was going to say that, but okay.
I don't have anyone named after me.
What? Edwin C. Koopa.
Edwin McCain.
Who's Edwin McCain?
Edwin McCain is an American singer-songwriter and musician. His songs, I'll Be and I Could Not Ask for More, were radio top 40 hits in the US. In all, McCain has released 11 albums, with his first 2 being released independently. He was born on January 20, 1970 in Charleston, South Carolina.
And Lucas Koopa.
Lucas Ontivero.
Who's Lucas Ontivero?
Lucas Ontivero is a soccer player for the Montreal Impact, Galatasaray SK, football, San Lorenzo de Almagro, Real Madrid CF, Venados FC, Centro Atletico Phoenix, Gaziantepspor, Budapest Honved FC, and MK Olimpija Ljubljana, 2005. Lucas was born on September 9, 1994 in Catamarca, Argentina.
Wow. Lucas Koopa is the soccer player? That's pretty interesting.
Oh. Jackson Koopa. I had officially graduated from high school on June 29, 2019.
Dude, I was named after Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson was an American singer, songwriter, and dancer. He is regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. Jackson's contributions to music, dance, and fashion, along with his publicized personal life, made him a global figure in popular culture for over 4 decades. His music videos, including Beat It, Billie Jean, and Thriller from his 1982 album Thriller, are credited with breaking racial barriers and transforming the medium into art. As a child, Jackson became the lead singer of his family's popular Motown group, the Jackson 5. He began his solo career in 1971 while at Motown Records. In the early 1980s, he became a dominant figure in popular music. He is dubbed the King of Pop. He was born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, U.S. He died on June 25, 2009 in Los Angeles, California, U.S. His cause of death was cardiac arrest induced by acute propofol and benzodiazepine intoxication. That's right. On June 25, 2009, less than 3 weeks before the first show was due to begin in London, with all concerts sold out, Jackson died from a cardiac arrest. Jackson was not breathing and CPR was performed. Resuscitation efforts continued en route to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, and for more than an hour after arriving there, but the CPR was failed. Jackson had taken propofol, lorazepam, and midazolam. His death was caused by a propofol overdose. After taking them, he was found dead. News of his death spread quickly online, causing websites to slow down and crash from user overload, and putting unprecedented strain on services and websites, including 1. Google, 2. AOL Instant Messenger, 3. Twitter, and 4. Wikipedia. The reason for this is because the web traffic rose by between 11% and 20%.
Oh, poor Michael Jackson. He died from a cardiac arrest.
It's bad, dude. His genre has a lot of different music, including the following music genres: 1. Pop music, 2. Soul music, 3. Funk music, 4. Rhythm music, 5. Blues music, 6. Rock music, 7. Disco music, 8. Post-disco music, 9. Dance pop music, and 10. New Jack Swing music. According to Forbes in 2016, Jackson had been the top-earning dead celebrity each year since his death. Jackson's memorial was held on July 7, 2009 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, preceded by a private family service at Forest Lawn Memorial Park's Hall of Liberty. When he died, Michael Jackson's net worth was $236 million. According to the Associated Press, over 1,600,000 fans applied for tickets to the memorial. The 8,750 recipients were drawn at random, and each received 2 tickets. The memorial service was one of the most watched events in streaming history, with an estimated U.S. audience of 31,100,000. During Michael Jackson's funeral, Mariah Carey, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, Jennifer Hudson, and Shaheen Jaffarli performed. Smokey Robinson and Queen Latifah gave eulogies. Michael Jackson has recorded songs for 10 studio albums, 2 posthumous studio albums, 72 compilation albums, 3 soundtrack albums, 1 live album, 6 EPs, and 7 remix albums. The countries selected are the United States of America, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Spain, Switzerland and the United Kingdom. Michael Jackson released these albums, including 1. Got to Be There on January 24, 1972. 2. Ben on August 4, 1972. 3. Music and Me on April 15, 1973. 4. A Motown Christmas on September 25, 1973. 5. Forever, Michael on January 16, 1975. 6. The Wiz on September 18, 1978. 7. Minute by Minute on December 1, 1978. 8. Off the Wall on August 10, 1979. 9. Keep the Fire in October 1979. 10. Hotter Than July on September 29, 1980. 11. Love Lives Forever on October 18, 1980. 12. LaToya Jackson in 1980. 13. Old Crest on a New Wave on June 15, 1980. 14. Light Up the Night on April 4, 1980. 15. Share Your Love in 1981. 16. Sometimes Late at Night in 1981. 17. The Dude on March 26, 1981. 18. Thriller on November 30, 1982. 19. The Essential Michael Jackson 3.0 on July 19, 2005. 20. Synapse Gap, Mundo Total, in 1982. 21. Silk Electric on September 10, 1982. 22. Wolf in 1982. 23. E.T. The Extraterrestrial, 24. Pipes on Peace in 1983. 25. Farewell My Summer Love on May 15, 1984. 26. Centipede on October 10, 1984. 27. Somebody's Watching Me on January 30, 1984. 28. Dynamite on April 14, 1984. 29. Dream Street on October 23, 1984. 30. Eaten Alive on September 24, 1985. 31. We Are the World on April 23, 1985. 32. Looking Back to Yesterday in 1986. 33. Bad on September 1, 1987. 34. Characters on November 6, 1987. 35. The Original Soul of Michael Jackson in October 1987. 36. 2300 Michael Street on May 28, 1989. 37. The Simpsons Sing the Blues on December 4, 1990. 38. Dangerous on November 26, 1991. 39. Music for the New World in 1992. 40. Love's Alright in 1993. 41. History, Past, Present and Future, Book I on June 20, 1995. 42. Brotherhood on November 7, 1995. 43. Dreams and Illusions in 1995. 44. Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix on May 20, 1997. 45. Invincible on October 30, 2001, 46. Thriller, Special Edition, in 2001. 47. Bad, Special Edition, in 2001. 48. The Blueprint on September 11, 2001. 49. All Eyes on Me on October 21, 2002. 50. Full Moon on March 5, 2002, 51. Number Ones in 2003. 52. The Ultimate Collection on November 16, 2004. 53. Versatility in 2006. 54. Thriller 25 in 2008. 55. This Is It on October 26, 2009. 56. Mike Hill on December 14, 2010. 57. Bad 25 in 2012. 58. XSCAP on May 9, 2014. 59. Queen Forever on November 10, 2014. 60. Scorpion on June 29, 2018. And 61. Raise Vibration on September 7, 2018.
Wow. That's a lot of albums that he made, but there are more than 61 albums.
How many?
101.
101. Wow. That's many.
That is a lot.
Okay, dude.